I saw a post this week that said we're about to watch Black women leave corporate in waves, and I could not agree with it more. I double tapped, I liked it, I even commented, and I shared a link to one of my random YouTube videos because I'm like, girl, yes, I've been talking about this quite literally, unintentionally, intentionally now for the last 7 months. But when I started to sit with what I read and what I was thinking and feeling, I don't think entrepreneurship is what women are actually after. I think it's something much deeper than that. I think we're after the options that entrepreneurship can bring. I was on the phone with one of my girlfriends yesterday when I was driving home, because you guys know I have an 1.5-hour commute back home from my job at the moment. And I was talking to her, and she was expressing her frustrations and things like that. And I understood. I expressed how my week went, work, life, and everything in between. And I just said, Joe, we are at a point right now where it's like being an entrepreneur doesn't feel like it's an option anymore. Do y'all remember back in the day when we started to hear that term a lot and it felt like it was a choice? It felt like you could pick between stepping out like that or keeping your main 9 to 5. And then we started to see people do like a hybrid vibe where they started consulting and taking on clients and using their skills from their 9 to 5 or their corporate expertise to dabble over here and start making more money. We definitely saw that era. And then the pandemic just did a whole like whirlwind of change in situations. But now, I don't know if y'all feel this. I quite literally feel like now we're at the point where we don't have a choice. Being some form of an entrepreneur feels like it's a non-negotiable at this point. But this is the thing. I don't think entrepreneurship is the language. I don't think that's the point. I don't think that's the true desire. I think there's an underlying desire, but it's just so happened to be the language that entrepreneurship is attached to, the feeling that it gets us, the thing that it gets us, the freedom that it can get us. Let me go deeper. I got my points. Y'all know I got my points. I kind of feel like I'm fired up. So point 1, entrepreneurship is the language, not the desire. So nobody dreams about, having, all of these LLCs and having to do all this work for all the LLCs and the bookkeeping with QuickBooks and all the funnels and the payroll. I don't think that's the exciting piece about it unless that's your skill set in like one of those individual areas. Otherwise, I don't think that's exactly what you want to do when you think about becoming an entrepreneur, but we understand that it goes with the territory. It's quite literally a part of the process. You can't skip it or ignore it. Most people want to focus on their zone of genius and the thing that they can do to bring in the clients, the money, the connections, the relationships that lead to the freedom that they want to have in their life by way of these other tasks that also have to be done and incorporated in our business. So when we wake up in the morning, I don't think we think that those are the things that we really want to do. I think what we're really dreaming about is the freedom that that decision can get us, the flexibility that the decision can offer us, right? Like you want to take a random Tuesday off, you want to have a slower morning on a Tuesday, maybe something comes up personal and you just need to take the day. You got 4 flat tires and then somebody hit you from the back and something else happened and it's not a push through type of day, God forbid. But all that to say, like, it gives you flexibility when you are working on your own time or you have time that you can adjust to account for when life happens. I think we're really dreaming about the ownership. I've talked about this in so many videos. You are not new here. You've heard me talk about this. Like that's the golden piece. It's like that's the piece to the puzzle. It's the ownership that having your extra money on the side can give you based off what it is that you're doing. We dream about peace, and we all got a different definition of peace, but the peace and the ease and the calmness that can come with this decision, it's every day is not going to be sunshine and rainbows, especially when you step into some form of like ownership. And depending on the level that you grow and you scale and you know, how big you want your team to be, how many clients you want to take on, how many consultant contracts that you actually want to have, just depending on those things, right? Like peace can look a little rocky, but the intention isn't to leave a 9 to 5 to build like a 9 to 9. Like the intention is to truly build a life that flows around your desires. If you're choosing to create extra money, create extra options, create extra freedom from an entrepreneurial container. My second point, I think women are tired of depending on one thing. To her point, she talked about layoffs, and I am a product of layoffs. I've gone through 3 total in my life over the span of almost 10 years, but more consecutively within like the last 3 years. She shared some of these numbers. Black women lost over 300,000 jobs in 2025. I mean, we saw, girl, is that a spider? Okay. We saw it. We saw the news. We saw the articles. Maybe you were someone that was unfortunately affected in that way. We've seen this, it started during the pandemic, and then it just kept trickling on. And we know with the shift of AI and jobs changing, roles changing, expectations changing, we're not in a position now where we can rely on the cushion that my 72-year-old mama had, or my 60-year-old dad slightly had when he started working, even though my dad did take the entrepreneurial route and unfortunately ended up losing his business. We're just not in that position. Let's keep it real. And I was telling my girlfriend yesterday on the phone, and this is even me being honest as a 37-year-old woman, honey, I'm a little tired, okay? I'm a little tired. But the layoffs are increasing. We're having a lot of leadership changes, a lot of organization changes. You just never know if your job or your role is on the chopping block at any given point. And when you're at the mercy of a paycheck, it feels like your whole life is at the mercy of that whole job, of that whole corporation. When you have options provide you freedom, and money is a part of that. And I'm learning from the clarity call that I had, even with my 7 ladies recently. We had our clarity hour, which we'll have another one coming up soon. But I'm learning that even from that clarity hour, the drive, the main topic wasn't like, oh, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to be an entrepreneur. It was solely, I need to have options and figure out how to create leverage in my life. I don't want to be stuck to one paycheck. I don't want to be stuck to one job. I don't want to be stuck to one decision. I don't want to be at the mercy of a boss or anything along those lines. That was like the underlying theme. And I know that entrepreneurship has been like the driver behind that thought of how to get to that place and space. I think there is a lot of truth to that too, because when you can step out and create something of your own, you are expanding your options. A lot of these organizations have instability, and your own career, like your own journey. You have so much to speak for in your journey. You have built 15, 20, 25 years of experience and skills, whether working for one or 4 different corporations, that you quite literally can change and utilize to your own advantage in your own life. Take me, for example, if you were here a couple months ago, I left a corporate contracting job. It was draining the life out of me, like quite literally all my blood cells evaporating into the ether. I know that's so dramatic, but y'all were there for my soul sucking video that I just couldn't take it anymore. I felt so on autopilot. I felt so unfulfilled. I felt so robotic, and it was crazy because it was a healthcare role at the time, but that particular job that I was doing was not a good fit for me. So I left that and I stepped into a nonprofit role. But in the interim, I started this YouTube channel. I committed to 100 days on YouTube just to see where it went. It was kind of like an experiment, but a commitment to myself. I knew that I wanted to start creating options for myself. I just didn't know how. And YouTube was my first start. So when I started this and I got monetized in 63 days, that felt unreal to me. But it was more than just feeling unreal. It was more than just, that first $100 I made. It was more than all of that. It was the fact that it showed me that I actually do have a doorway into my options. I have a foot in. I don't have to commit or rely on one employer for a source of income. And I needed to just see that, to know that. And I took that, what I knew, and I've just kept going. I haven't made life-changing numbers on YouTube for a salary yet, but I know that it's coming one day, and I've been committed to the process. And sometimes you just need to step out and know that your feet are going to land. You know what I'm saying? Like, step out and know that you're not going to fall. Like, the step is there. So step on the step, So after starting that YouTube channel, I led a Clarity Hour just 2 weeks ago, and it was amazing. I mean, connecting with these ladies, being able to have this space. I truly never had space like this before, separate from being in my therapist's office. But to pretty much come to the table and bring like these frustrations, the desire, the change, and figuring out, okay, let me look in my backpack. What can I pull out? I got a rental property. I got 15 years in operations. I got this, I got that, like I got this, or I want to start doing that. I desire to do this, like pulling things out of the bag and like working through what that can look like and getting clarity around that was, oh my gosh, that was amazing. And I also decided to go back to school 2 years ago, and I'm still on that journey of completing my master's degree to do like this whole career pivot to clinical mental health. So these are the things that like really have been opening the doors for me in creating permission for myself, getting clarity and choosing to make a pivot. So I'm just solely not depending on one thing, right? And I've applied for jobs. I've applied for new jobs recently too. And it's not so much that I want I'm going for these big body roles with a big container and that high 6-figure salary. Right now, I actually realize that's not what I need in this season. And I'm okay with that. And I'm okay with scaling back. So I'm building my options while also trying to create space for like my peace and for my freedom and giving me some form of autonomy while I can have some type of consistent paycheck still coming in. So it's not that I'm directly chasing entrepreneurship, but I'm building options. And I know options are by way of being an entrepreneur. So my third point, the conversation is bigger than the work. And I think this is where it just gets much deeper. It's not so much about how do I leave my job as it is, how do I build a life where I don't feel trapped? That was a common topic from our Clarity Hour when we talked. How do I build a life where I don't feel trapped? Where if I wanted to leave tomorrow, if I needed to leave tomorrow, if I needed to step back and take a sabbatical, if I needed space to just recover from the burnout, I just needed something. How do I do that? I was talking with someone recently, and she was just asking me, okay, well, tell me about FMLA, tell me about short-term disability, like, tell me what are these options, tell me what this looks like, because I just simply need space. She needed space and a break from her job. And I 100% get it, because I've been that woman and I've done that before. I've done that twice now. When I took FMLA and short-term disability, just to have some space to like think and not have to worry about being on. When you create options for yourself, even if you're out of PTO at your job, you still have paid yourself in a way where you don't need that, and that's not hindering you from actually like getting the mental health support that you may need, because burnout is a very real thing. It's a very deep issue. It's a very exhausting feeling and place to be mentally and physically. So it's important to be able to have options and create options for yourself when you need to step away. So my fourth point, right now I'm in this space where I'm building differently. I am working towards my graduate degree and then working through that journey of, practicum, internship, placement, licensure, with the ultimate goal to have my own private practice. Or maybe I want to actually have like a nonprofit space that I can operate from. But that's my ultimate goal. And that goal is solely led by my values at this point in my life. I told y'all I am in a space now where I don't want more, I want less. And I really, really want my time back. I really want to be able to work work in a job that aligns, where I feel the joy, where I feel alignment, where I have some peace and I have like my sanity. And I want to be able to also like leave work at home and come back home and decompress and relax, or choose to take a Friday off if I want to, you know. So being in grad school and my road to becoming like a counselor, those things are aligned with the output and the desire that I have. And I don't want to solely focus on having a caseload of like 40 people as an option. I think that for me is just, it would be way too much. I would definitely like scale that back, but I don't want that to like hinder me. That's why I'm creating other options and other revenue streams right now before I even get to that point, because I've learned me, and as I'm learning me, I'm moving with what I learn and what I know. And I may have to adjust and pivot 2-3 years from now. I'm sure I will, and I'm okay with that. But YouTube is like my main community, separate from Substack, and we're launching the Second Sunday membership community soon too, which I'm so excited about that. I have been wanting for such a long time, like a true community place where we gather together and it feels like we're evolving through. It doesn't feel like you pop in for a hit and for a moment. No, we actually have like life audit calls on rotation. We bring in people to show us how to build wealth with our money, with our investing. We bring in people that elaborate on the options that we're looking for in our life, show us how to talk on YouTube, show us how to show up and do this and that, show us how to take care of our mental health and our well-being, because to me, this is overall a lifestyle. Like women that are intentionally redesigning their life and what success looks like, what money looks like, what work looks like, all of that on their own terms. This is what Second Sunday community is going to be. If that is something that you desire in a community that you've been looking for, definitely click the link in the description, because the waitlist is open. I'm inviting you to join us into this space next month, but this is the community that we're cultivating. And longer term, I see us having like mini communities in different cities, where we have a Detroit meetup and we have an Atlanta meetup, and then maybe we host a retreat, because by that time I'll actually be licensed and can gather my community of mentors and my community that have developed me together, so we can get together more intimately and go away and enjoy the fruits and the reward of this decision, from the moment you saw this video to you riding the wave with us in the community. Like, that's what I have wanted. I just never knew what that was going to look like. And coming off of that clarity hour call, I'm like, yeah, we're cooking with grease. Like, we're building, because now I know I'm not alone, and there's more women with this hunger and this desire like me. It's a soft ambition by ease of life and choice, but it's a commitment and it's a dedication, because you want the change to happen. So do it with community. But that's what I'm building. I see myself doing more speaking engagements and being in more intimate spaces, and being able to have more of these conversations on burnout and, employee wellness, and just caring for yourself and redesigning your life late in life, or after your 30s, after 35, and what does that look like for you? What does success really look like now? What are you reaching towards? I want those conversations to be present, and I definitely want to pitch myself to be able to speak in those spaces. And having a future practice, which I have no idea what that looks like, but in the back of my head, I got a greenhouse somewhere. I'm like, girl, you don't even know what state you're going to be in. But I just have this image of a greenhouse and surrounded by plants inside, and it's just very serene and relaxing, and having a few in-person sessions, because I think the value of, being in person is so high and so strong, right? And of course, there'll be times where if I'm traveling, they'll have to be remote, but just allowing myself to dream, literally allowing myself to dream. Yeah. So my fifth point, like I said, maybe the goal isn't entrepreneurship. Maybe the goal is just to have the choice. Maybe the goal is to create some sense of sustainability. Maybe the goal for you, like me, is to have ownership over your time, your decisions, over your money. Maybe the goal for you is alignment, freedom. This is the emotional piece of it, because we say we want entrepreneurship, but we're really saying that we want the choice. We want it on our own terms. We want the freedom to. We want the option to, we want the alignment. So yeah, that is reflective, and it goes hand in hand together. So this is my question. I'm curious, when you say you want entrepreneurship, what do you actually mean? And I want you to tell me in the comments, is it the business, or is it what you believe the business will be able to give you? Let me know. I'm very curious. And like I said, these are the conversations I've been having more and more lately with just different women, whether if it's a clarity hour that we do monthly, or soon to be the second Sunday membership group. It's not just about career, but it's about intentionally like redesigning your life to really create it on your terms and live the life that you desire. A lot of us have built a life that looks good. It looks good on paper. It sure do. Got a strong resume when you print that thing out. But there's also a strong disconnect, and you can't ignore it. So you're building more options for yourself, and we're here to help you. I say we, even though I'm just one person, but we as in the community are here to help, because we do life together. We do not do life alone. I've been saying that for a really long time. We do life together. We do not do it alone. So if you are someone that needs that next step, please click the link in my bio, get on the wait list for the second Sunday community group, or get on the wait list for the clarity hour that we will be hosting next. Actually, I think I made it for 2 weeks from now. But either way, I would love to see you. I would love to connect with you, and I would love to be able to support you on the pathway to redesigning your life, because you deserve everything that you want, and you can absolutely make it happen. Just starts with a choice, and the choice is yours. So until the next video, friends, comment, like, subscribe, share this with a friend in your community. We are actively growing in the most beautiful way, and this community is growing beyond what I could have expected. I'm grateful, I'm excited, and I'm just, can't wait to see how this continues to unfold. All right, y'all, until the next video, peace out.